Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Not so many hours ago, we woke up with the shocking news that the Central Post Office, located in the heart of the city of Manila, which is the very seat of power in our country, was burned. Available accounts would show that this national heritage and iconic landmark caught fire just before midnight last Sunday, May 21, 2023, that reached general alarm. I do not know if our secretariat here has received the video, because I just would like to show the video right now on the extent of the fire. Do we have it? Can we show it, please? Wala pa? Yan. I'd like you to know the extent of the fire. When I received the picture myself, not knowing it's a Central Post Office, I thought it was in Ukraine. You know, but this is right in the very heart of Manila. According to Postmaster General Luis Campos of the Philippine Postal Corporation, and I quote, "The whole building has been burned down from the ground, from the basement all up to the 5th floor." End of quote. And aside from mail, parcel, and national IDs that are for delivery within the city of Manila inside, the building also houses extensive collection of stamps, including vintage one. Our mayor, Hani Lacuna, made this statement, and I would like to read the statement of our beloved mayor. "Huwag ho kayong mag-alala, ang lugar kung nasaan nakatayo ang Manila Central Post Office ayon po sa aming zoning ordinance ay isang institutional zone. Pero maliban pa po doon, ang Manila Central Post Office ay nadeklara na noong 2018 ng National Museum bilang isang important cultural property. Kapag ganito po, hindi na maaaring patayuan po ng kahit anong gusali maliban sa naturing na post office doon sa lugar na ito. Yan po ang statement, Mr. Speaker, ng aming mayor. It is for this reason, Mr. Speaker and my dear colleagues, that I rise before you today in this august chamber for us to look at and seriously consider the need and urgency of restoring, preserving, and maintaining our iconic landmarks and national heritage all over our beloved country. I think that the Philippines is one of the countries that are quite poor in restoring such iconic and heritage sites, Mr. Speaker. The book of Proverbs finds relevance on the subject with this instruction, and I quote, "Remove not the ancient landmark which thy fathers have set." Proverbs 22 and verse number 28. The Manila Central Post Office is an iconic landmark and a national heritage, Mr. Speaker. The Manila Central Post Office, often called the Post Office Building, which is the main postal office of Manila, and also serves as the headquarters of the Philippine Postal Corporation, is beyond argument one of the iconic landmarks of the Philippines and a national heritage of the Filipino people. Considered as the grandest building during its time, the construction of the Manila Central Post Office, which became the center of Philippine Postal Service, was completed in 1926 and was inaugurated in 1927. It features a design collaboration of renowned architects Juan M. Arellano, known for his work on the Manila Metropolitan Theater, and the old Legislative Building. Tomas Mapua, the architect behind the La Salle Universities and St. La Salle Hall, and Ralph Doan in neoclassical style. The building's frontage showcases a rectangular mast adorned with 16 Greco-Roman iconic pillars that are lined up above the iconic steps. Although it suffered significant damage during the war in 1945, it was reconstructed a year later, faithful to its original design. For its exceptional cultural, artistic, and historical value, importance, and significance, the Manila Central Post Office was recognized in November 24, 2018 by the National Museum of the Philippines as an important cultural property. Hindi ko alam, Mr. Speaker, kung bakit noong 2018 lamang kinilala ito ng National Museum. What happened, Mr. Speaker? Should be a wake-up call, and something should be done. Initial estimates peg the damage at 300 million pesos. 300 milyon piso lang, Mr. Speaker. Inabot po na more than 30 hours ang sunog na yan. Sapagkat, ang sabi po ng Manila Director ng Bureau of Fire Prevention, di sila makapasok sapagkat kulob po yung loob. Pero Mr. Speaker, kung inyong titingnan po ang loob ng Central Post Office, yun po ay mga kahoy na ginamit nung araw na mga hardwood na tinatawag natin. Yakal, Nara, Molave. Kaya mahirap po itong masunog, no? Now, itong figure na ito ay isang maliit na figure lamang. And I do not think that the damage is only about 300 million pesos. While investigation as to the cause of the fire is still to be concluded, there is no indication that it was caused by nature. Hence, the great possibility, without any intention to point fingers, that it could have been prevented. Thus, we have a yearly Fire Prevention Month, but fires still happen. And so the relevance and urgency of giving special attention to our iconic landmarks and national heritage. I, therefore, Mr. Speaker, call for a thorough investigation not only to determine the cause of the fire, what brought about, or what could have contributed to such cause, and what should be done to ensure the prevention of fires from hitting our landmarks and national heritage in the future. And, Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, this should be treated with dispatch. Failing to restore this landmark would result in a fragment of our identity shattered, a hole in our collective memory, a chapter of our story left incomplete. This My dear colleagues, Mr. Speaker, we cannot allow to happen. Preserving historical monuments, such as the Manila Central Post Office, serves as a vital link between generations, allowing us to bridge the gap between the past and the future. They provide a tangible connection to our predecessors, enabling us to understand and appreciate the challenges and triumphs that have shaped our nation. Without these historical buildings, Mr. Speaker, and my dear colleagues, we risk losing a crucial part of our cultural fabric, a part that serves as a constant reminder of who we are and where we came from. This is of particular importance to my constituents in Manila, because this representation recognizes that investing in the restoration of the historically significant structures such as the Manila Central Post Office may also contribute to urban revitalization and community development. I believe that if it is restored, it can breathe new life into its surroundings, acting as a catalyst for growth, regeneration, and even tourism. Local businesses could flourish, communities could thrive, and a renewed sense of pride and identity could emerge with the appropriate approach to rebuilding this edifice. A landmark such as a fully restored Manila Central Post Office could become a beacon of inspiration, encouraging further investment and creating vibrant cultural hubs for both residents and tourists alike. Let me stress again, Mr. Speaker, however, that the importance of rebuilding and restoring the Manila Central Post Office extends beyond its cultural and economic value. It is an act of resilience, an act that defies the forces of destruction and preserves our collective memory. Towards this end, I would like to most respectfully propose the following. Number one, that our iconic landmarks and national heritage all over the country be immediately evaluated, especially concerning its structural and electrical soundness and integrity, safety, and health issues, as well as beauty. Gusto ko pong sabihin, Mr. Speaker, sa ating mga real estate developers, na huwag sanang galawin itong mga iconic and heritage sites na ito in the name of modern development. Number two, that on the basis of such evaluation, needed restorations, repairs, renovations, modifications, and beautifications be effected at the earliest possible time. Number three, that all such iconic landmarks and national heritage should be properly maintained and preserved. And number four, that a private foundation, let me repeat this, Mr. Speaker, that a private foundation duly registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission in partnership with the government be given the privilege and authority to administer and manage these iconic landmarks and national heritage. And Mr. Speaker and my dear colleagues, I am willing to help in putting up such foundation to partner with our government and the private sector for the sole purpose and mission of restoring, repairing, renovating beautifying, preserving, and maintaining our iconic landmarks and national heritage all over the country. Kinakailangan din siguro, Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, na ipagbawal na natin ang mga developers natin na magpatayo ng mga modern buildings na matatakpan itong heritage site na ito. Kung pwede nga lamang, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, investing in rebuilding historically significant structures like the Manila Central Post Office is an act of hope, a belief in the power of our shared history to shape a brighter future. It is a commitment to preserving the values, traditions, and lessons that have molded us as a society. Let us unite behind these efforts and rally around this monumental task so we can breathe new life into our history and give it the honor and reverence it deserves. Together, we can rebuild what has been lost, resurrecting this architectural masterpiece to inspire our countrymen, especially the youth of the land. In 2026, we will mark the centennial of the Manila Central Post Office. That is only, Mr. Speaker, 3 years away. I nurture the hope, however, that when we celebrate this momentous milestone, we will be doing so inside a rebuilt and revived structure that will last for another 100 years and inspire generations yet unborn. Together, we can make this a reality. And therefore, with this privileged speech, Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, I call upon our private sector to partner with the government in restoring and preserving not only the Manila Central Post Office, but all well-known national heritage sites all over the country, Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues. Maraming salamat po at gusto ko muling sabihin sa inyo ang sinabi doon sa Book of Proverbs, remove not the ancient landmarks which your fathers have set. God bless the Philippines.